I mean, the flow rate of a MISO is 4 inputs going to 1, and he's getting like 180 to 200 cubic millimeters per second of flow out of it. Like, at that point, you're getting 20 kilos per day of throughput. 20 kilos.
But like, dude, the first thing that we think about when we think about higher flow on machines, we think just give it a bigger nozzle, right? Just go from a 0.4 to a 0.6. On average, that will up your flow by 15, 20%.
It's like 15%.
Yeah.
On average.
You don't get much more than that because you end up just running out of heater before you run out of anything. But the larger orifice means it takes less pressure to physically get filament down to that orifice to then push it out. So you can get higher flow, but it's not what is that?
It's not technically flow though.
50%? Yeah.
So the issue I have with going larger is while you can get a bigger number if you're measuring it via how fast you can spin an extruder, it doesn't necessarily mean you've melted the polymer. Because as you get a bigger nozzle and the pressure drops, there's less requirement to melt the center of the filament. Because you're only melting the outside enough to be soft, like literally like half molten.
But I have problems with that. I have problems with not getting that full melt. And a lot of people just solve that by adding more temperature, but then you end up superheating the exterior skin of it just to be able to get heat onto the inside. So it's like this weird, like you can beat flow rate. You can beat a max hot end flow rate by flowing PLA at, 280 Celsius, right? You can get faster flow doing that, but you start to really damage your material properties. Index could solve that problem, but let's take index out of the mix. I think index as
there's two problems with nozzle tech at the moment, and they kind of fight against each other.
Okay.
Especially for like temperature control. One is you want to have a very consistent temperature, so you're not getting random temperature changes based on flow rate.
Right.
So you go higher thermal mass.
Right.
You go copper nozzles, copper blocks, anything that has higher thermal mass. The downside, however, to going to the copper is whenever you need to do a requested heat change, like let's say you increase it by 10 degrees, you are now fighting the thermal mass to increase that high before it gets to the nozzle.
Yep.
So it slows down the temperature advance of the nozzle before it even gets to the filament, because now you're having to heat the block up, whereas an aluminium block transfers the heat almost instantly, except it's even more susceptible for temperature fluctuations based on flow. So you have to like choose a nice middle ground if you wanted that, or just design around keeping it consistency versus agility.
And here's where it gets even worse, right? The faster you flow, the more cooling you often need to have. So, all these curtain air systems, they tend to cool the hot ends quite a bit more than people think, right? Like you have certain geometry and that'll just push the air straight up right into your hot end. And, systems like Luke's Laboratories Pika, that it has an air cushion around the silicone. Like inside of the silicone, there's air between the hot end and the silicone because air has less thermal conductivity than silicone does. It's like that solves it to some extent, but like this is where a diamondback nozzle, a nozzle with like insane levels of thermal conductivity, might actually create a problem to where you can actually blow away a lot of that heat by just passing a whack ton of air around it. That's where things like CPAP cooling can come in, or my personal favorite, we look at the style of cooling that we use on CNC machines, like a P nozzle style, where it's a controllable little arm dingus that is able to put air
low volume but high pressure.
Yeah, like exactly where it needs to be. And that's the kind of stuff to me of where we've got a lot of advances to make. I think the advances in like motion systems, we've kind of hit a critical mass of what steppers are reasonably able to do. We're now running out
we
of.
haven't. Oh
Well,
no.
okay.
No.
With the current, you know, you're right. We are running into extruders and
nowhere
heaters
close.
more than anything else.
The moment like one printer company other than us does a 36 volt or a 42 volt system, or even a 48 volt system, speeds of the steppers do not matter anymore.
But doesn't that start to get more dangerous too?
Not really.
Oh,
Not really.
okay.
Like you always got like a danger when it comes to more powerful anything because there's more stuff going on.
Look,
Like
man,
if you are moving faster, you're moving faster.
I'm seeing
and that is
NTC
dangerous.
I'm seeing NTC thermistors blowing up left and right in bamboo printers. Now the P1S is apparently also heavily susceptible to this.
Flow rate is a really good measure of flow rate. Like that is the whole point. It is how much you can melt per second. And whereas energy per second is something you can calculate, it's not necessarily something a user has to know. So for example, I don't have any numbers for a V6 nozzle, but I do have for volcano nozzles. To fully saturate a volcano nozzle based on a standard like PET based material, you only actually need 22 watts. Anything more than 22 watts is wasted energy in terms of maintaining the system. But if you want to get full flow before it physically cannot melt enough material, it's about 22 watts. You do need a safety factor, however, because if you ever get thermal losses from anything else other than the filament, you need to up the wattage to compensate for lost energy. So that's why 30 watts were standard, because 30 watts is more than 20, therefore it can melt and heat up. But in reality, you kind of want it to be 40 watts because the more headroom you have, the less your overshoot is. Because you don't want to be running a heater at max duty cycle, because that's when the moment you need to turn it off, you get a huge temperature spike.
Right.
So I don't massively enjoy watts per second as a measure of flow rate, because it's too dependent on the material and on the speed and on everything else. Whereas just flow rate is a good measure of flow rate.
You can turn
it can work on
everything
anything.
Well, and I'm sure someone's going to correct me. I know it's not called Danger Clipper anymore. I don't care.
Wait, did they change the name?
They did.
Oh, I just got a warning on Zoom saying Zoom is not responding.
You're still here.
You can still see me, right?
I can still see you. You're good.
Cool. Thank you, Zoom, for making me shit my pants. Thanks.